Alright, we're going to be doing the server here in a second. I'm going to try and get a fan installed on the RAID card. So let's go check that out. Alright, so there's some stuff over here. So what I want to do is put a fan like this on this card. This card puts out a ton of heat. I don't know if that's 2011, but anyway, this is out of this server here. I mean, it just gets really hot, and so you can see it's already got the threads and everything there for the fan. So what we're going to need to do is take one of these other fans that didn't fit in the other computer or something else, and we'll get find out what we have wire-wise, and we'll hook something up to this. And we'll power it off of a Molex or a SATA or something. So we'll get this thing open and find out what it's going to fit. I also got to find some screws for that. Alright, well, we're having trouble figuring out the screws. Okay, so I thought maybe this had screws in it. I was like, oh, I can just take two out of that and leave it with, you know, the diagonal. So I've tried a couple of different screws that I've laying around. I thought, oh, these look like some of these 3D printer screws. You know, these really small ones. Well, they're smaller than that. In fact, I think I figured out what they are. But believe it or not, we're going to try and 3D print them. So I believe it's going to be one of these screws, like I have on one of my guitar pickups. I think it's at M 2.5, but I might be wrong. So I'm just waiting for this thing to start printing. Right now we're just waiting for it to heat up. So if you've never seen this before, I'm just using Clipper. And this is the webcam right here. And this is, my printer is connected on the network. So I'm using Clipper with, I think, mainsail. There's different ones. You can use fluid or you can use mainsail. I don't actually know how to choose with this one. But anyway, so we're using PLA. And we need to throw some of this away. Probably the best thing I ever learned how to do was use a 3D printer. And of course, the quality varies quite a bit depending on what you're using. I've got an Ender 3 over there. I don't really use it, but I learned on a printer like that. So anyway, this one being Clipper and being Wi-Fi and whatnot, works pretty good. I just need to make sure that I got everything out of the way because I've been moving a lot of stuff around out here. And it's a mess. So we need to get this thing open. And well, there we go. We're starting to print. It will take 1 minute to print this. I think the issue that's going to happen, I don't think it's going to stand up and print. I think it's going to come undone. But we'll see. So here we go. We're printing the test strip like a normal printer does. I think Elegoo Neptune doesn't do that, though. They print it somewhere stupid. So it should be printing a raft, I guess. Not a raft, but a brim. And then I imagine it's just going to sit there in the same spot for a really long time. Just kind of wiggling around a little bit. Now, I think that their idea is they want you to make these out of PLA or, and not PLA, but TPU. So they'd be like rubber plugs. And what they are is they're for putting together a Raspberry Pi without screws. So I'm going to walk away from this, so I'll show you guys what I was looking at. Alright. Camera on the screen. What the hell was that? Wow. I have no idea how this thing could actually work like this. Um, the screw's almost done. Now, this thing needs to be printed the other direction, I think. But give me a second here. This is crazy. Because it has no supports, it's going to have like an issue with this part under here. However, it is able to do it. It will print that. But we do need to flip this upside down. And let's go flip it. Alright. Then we'll slice it. We'll save it to the disk. Save. It's going to say it already exists. I'm going to say yes. Click OK. Now, I don't know if this is long enough yet. Which I'm not sure that it is. Now, if it wants to print it this way and it works fine, I guess I really don't care. It actually does appear to have threads on it. So, I think it might be the wrong size, actually. I actually think it might be too big. But, let me show you how I would do this. Normally, we'll have this open in the browser. We'll click Upload and Print. And then we'll go find the file that we want, which is going to be SS, which is Silval something, Elastic Tap X4. Okay, and we'll send that to it, and we'll let it print that. I don't think these are the right size, and I also don't think they're long enough. So if it is the right size, it might work. But that one's not working, okay? I just tried it, but when we print it the other direction, it will stop on the end of the thread. This is probably mushroomed. So basically, there's another bunch here, and so the idea is you could print these and use them for your pie instead of using regular screws, which is about all I really want to do to get this fan attached. So now somebody says here that you need to know all the different sizes. Well, it says that they're using M2.5 screws, and I have a Pi 0 over here, and I think that looks like the right size screw, but I might be wrong. Anyway, somewhere I think I have the rest of another Raspberry Pi case that didn't get finished, and if I could just find it, it has 4 screws in it. Now the regular Pis, I don't know, they might use a bigger screw. That's what it seemed like anyway. So it's always this problem. I can get distracted from everything I'm trying to do because I have, you know, I've got all this crap going on. So let me make sure that this guitar screw is the right one, because it seems like it might be, but it's the wrong thread pitch. So yeah, I think it's the wrong thread pitch. So when we're looking at the Pi, so I believe it's the same screw. So, but I don't think the thread pitch is correct on this thing I have sitting here, but it could be a number of reasons why. It might be American thread. All right, we had tried again. I found a bunch on Thingiverse, but they all seem to be STL files, and I can't get Cura to open STL files. Now, I've got other slicers on here, but what I did find was I found on printables, this one here, this guy, Filamentix, had just all of these. And so basically you go and click download, and it pops up here, and it's like, do you want all of them? So you can do M2, M2 by 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, all the way up to some pretty long ones, 50. So this is like, wow, what a work of art. So we'll be printing something like that when it finally decides to do its deal. And this should work pretty good for what we're doing. So otherwise, I'm going to have to figure out how to make my own in, what do you call it? Geez. Oh. Tinkercad. Alright, so it did finish printing, and the way that ended up being the wrong size. So we did come back in here. We're gonna get back over here to Cura. So that's not the right one. I had a feeling it might not be, because I was like, well, I didn't say it was gonna take a minute to print. Okay, so we got geez. Oh, okay, so we only downloaded the one. So you go back over here, and so we don't want M2, we want 2.5. Wait. Okay, so here we go. So we click download. It's gonna say, what do you want, M2, M2.5. So, and based off of that, well, I think that last one was 16, or maybe something like that. I don't think 16 is quite going to be long enough. Let me have a look here. We're going to need probably a 20, maybe even 25. And I don't know if that's millimeters long. I need to get my caliper out. But in the amount of time that it takes to print this crap, it shouldn't be a big deal. Let me go over here, and I need to keep my printer heated, and so basically it does stupid crap like 2.520. Okay. Well, that looks almost too long, and this is the wrong kind. But we can go ahead and slice it. We'll save it to the disk. I'll save that, and I gotta clear the build plate, delete selected. Basically what I did was I clicked on the wrong one. This guy has two different groups of files. These are metric Allen. Download those. 2.5. Okay. And I think we'll try the 20 again, but I think the 20 is probably too big. I could be wrong. I keep clicking on the wrong icons here, guys. It's really annoying. Alright, so we need to get into Cura and see what the last one was. No, we'll just do Allen screw head. We go like that. And I wish it would just threaded the entire way. That would be nicer. Slice. 2 minutes. Save to disk. Save. We'll go into a browser. Boom. Upload and print. We'll find where it says Allen head screw. Okay. It is sending the file. And as soon as it's completely heated up, it should start printing. So it's just going to be a bunch of trial and error on this. Okay, so I looked at the previous one and it was a M2 by 8. Okay. And so that was too short for sure. So we probably need an M15 is what I'm going to guess. This thing is being really, really slow today. I don't know why. Let's go back over here to this and we'll get the... We have a 2.5 by 14 and we have a 2.5 by 16. Let's go 16. We'll download that. We'll download the 14. And I guess we could even try the 12. But what's nice about Thingiverse, I don't have to unzip files. They're ready to go. Okay. Go here. We'll clear the build plate on this one. We'll grab the 16. Click open. That looks about right. We'll click slice. We'll save the disk. Save. Okay. We'll clear the build plate again. We'll open the other one. The 14. Click OK. There it is. Slice. Boom. 1 minute. Save the disk. And now we're done. We're ready to print 3 or 4 of them in a row until we find the right one. Meanwhile, this damn thing is still sitting here fiddling around. I don't know why. So it should have already started printing by now. We're at 230 degrees and 75 for the print bed. I don't know, but it just seems to be funky lately. Our webcam is a little funky too. Like, blurry. So it's going to start doing its thing. So you don't really need a really good web camera to use on this. Any of them will do because you have such a poor data transfer that it really doesn't matter. Like, I think we're 1 frame per second is what it says. I have seen it read normal, but it could just be a network connectivity issue. It's enough to kind of help you remotely monitor what you're 3D printing. So I just printed that thing. It's absolutely awesome. It looks like crap, but dude, it just went right in this thing. I'm like, wow. So this one is way too long. So we're gonna print some smaller ones. Look at that. Pretty cool, man. It's only taken an hour and a half. Okay, so while we're waiting for this thing to print the next one, we're gonna get in here and I'm gonna open this thing up. I don't know why they made this the way they did. We've got to undo a bunch of screws, and I lost the screws that went to this damn thing, unfortunately. They had some decent screws, and I had them laying up on top of the bench, and I lost them. So these are some replacement ones I found. This is kind of a weird company, SI Forensics. They make servers for just saving data on cameras or laboratory stuff. See right here, we have these right here. These are cool, but I lost them. I might just lost another one. Good Lord. Pretty good chance of it. The only saving grace is there's not a carpet out here, but it is a shop. So anyway, let me find that and I'll be back. All right, I found it, and I also think I might have found the ones that might have been in it. Okay, so this is a really poor design too. You see right here the way they made it. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this thing, because it's like these were like custom built, I guess. Here's their little logo here. Siliconeforensics.com. And it's more like a regular computer, in my opinion. But let me move in a little closer here, and let's see if we can maybe get the work light over here to help illuminate this thing. You can kind of see. So it's an Intel server board, like a genuine Intel server board, and I forget what kind of RAM it has in it, but like everything about how they make these is wrong. Okay, like somebody paid out the ass for this thing, like, and this is like this is what they throw together. Like the cards are crooked in the back here, and yeah, it's just a mess. So you got an Antec power supply. It didn't have all the RAM it could possibly have, and they blocked all the SATAs. The reason that the drive is out of it is because they blocked all the SATAs with their way they made the case. So this company, as far as I understand, everything is one-off, like, or whatever, you know, you order what you want. But anyway, so it has a CD drive that they put in here that blocked all this. So we're gonna get in here and pull that out. So should be these two right here. So I mean, like, the way that they did things is okay to some extent, but like we had some issues with a bunch of stuff just when I opened it up, and I was like, wow, I can't believe these guys actually did this. So they literally blocked like 3 or 4 SATA ports on this board. So, okay, well, we're going to make it like this, but you'll never be able to do anything with it. And this damn thing is about broken right here because of the way they tried to do that. Let's see, which is not good. So that part actually snapped, and it was like that when I pulled it out. So what we gotta do now is, see, this is like kind of how they like custom build everything. So this actually like snapped or something. I don't know. But they use good stuff. They use like a Samsung drive. So now the wires are fine, but like something, I don't know, like what the hell they did, but just like sitting there at a funny angle to me. So when you see right here, here we go with this. Now we're gonna have to redo a bunch of stuff too, because we're going to be putting the RAID card back in. And they used a lot of really long ones here. So you can't have anything plugged in over here. It's not gonna work. These will no longer be able to reach because the drive will be in the way. So these cables need to be changed, which is going to be a pain. But once the card goes in there, it'll be feeding those drives and not the SATAs. And you can do it either way. I don't understand particularly what their reason for. Let me get this off the printer. using a RAID card really was, but they did. Alright, our screw is done. Let's see if this one is going to be the correct length for us. Yeah, I think that one might work. Okay. Unfortunately, I just restarted the damn thing. What I wanted to do was reprint. Okay. Oh no, actually it is restarted. Okay, so we got this going here. So, as soon as I get 3 more of these, I'll be able to mount the fan. And I think that should be good enough. Oh yeah, that's going to work just fine. I just have to get my Allen wrench out. And so the way they built this thing, you wouldn't be able to use those SATAs for your RAID. There's 2 8GB spinning drives in here, some HGSTs. I think they're 8. No, there's 4. So there's 2 4TB drives, which is pretty good. So we're gonna put this back in. It's basically like a laptop compact drive. I don't know where the hell we're gonna find the screws for it, because honestly, guys, I don't know what the hell I did with them. And they don't really line up either, I notice. That's not good. So let's see. Oh, okay. I put them back in there. The only screw that they used. That's crazy. I remember now. Yeah, so they used only that single screw. They didn't use that one. If they did, I don't remember it being in there. Now, I did get this used, so it is possible somebody did open it up before I did, but it didn't look like it. So let's see, where is my small screwdriver? Alright. These videos always ended up being quite long, just because how long it takes to like do all this type of stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and use, boy, that's not even magnetic, is it? Just barely. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to get that one in there. Okay. All right. I can't believe they would have did this with only one screw, especially one that's small. I think, no, I can see where there was a screw, but there wasn't a second one. Now let me look back in the bag here and see if we got a screw floating around in there. Lovely. Alright, I found a couple of screws in my parts bin that fit. So the one that they're using isn't even really the right kind. It's a what do they call it? It's the kind that's like not flat. It's crowned or whatever, you know. It's countersunk. You're not supposed to really use that for that. There is another spot right there, but like I said, when I took this thing out, it had 2 screws in it, and I don't think I have another screw like that. Maybe I do. We could try and look and see in this pile of junk I have here. I think the issue is that one of the ones I have actually might be too long. Like, actually stick into the CD player. In fact, there might be an issue with these ones even, but I'm just absolutely amazed that they would like, put this thing together like this. It's just like, what, really? Why? That was too big. I need to get like a, like a parts kit, just has like all this, kind of stuff, These screws that I have here are all, the rest of them are too big. Oh, here, I found one. Cool. So, I'm not sure what these came out of, but they'll work. Most likely they came out of like a laptop or something, especially because they fit this drive. So, alright, cool. We now got a screw there. The improper screw that they used. I mean, you use whatever you can use, but anyway, so we got this. We're just waiting for this thing to print a couple more of these little screws, and then other thing we'll have to do. I hate peeling this damn thing off of here because it keeps going under my fingernails. We'll have to wire in power source for the fan. Okay. So we got another screw. They don't look great, but they work, from what I can tell. Alright, so I'm going to be back when I get done figuring out the electrical part. Alright, we got 2 of them in there so far, just waiting for 2 more to print. Okay, so we got this connector here, kind of an oddball one, like you'd see in a laptop or some compact computers. So we need power for here, and then this plugs into one of these ones here. These 2 are going to be removed. So we're going to be blocking almost all these. We'll have one. So I'm not sure which ones we're going to be blocking, but we're going to get this back in here first and see what it's going to block. Okay, so show you. So it's going to block the first 3. There's like no doubt about it. In fact, it's going to block pretty much all of them. You could get to the other 2 if you use an angle. But it's basically going to block every frickin' thing. Alright, we got those out of here. So this is to control up to 4 drives. These, I've actually got an extra one of these. They use this weird connector like that. And then that plugs into the card. So here's the card. So basically, we just need a power source for the card, and then get that in there, and then we'll be on with the adventure. Alright. So we got those in there. I'm just going to get a zip tie and fold this up. And then I get that. And I'm going to pull this back out. And I'm going to look, I think I've got a Molex. So we got an extra Molex. Well, I could even just shove the damn wires into this freaking thing. But we're about done. Alright. Let me, ooh, camera's loose. Okay. I got a leftover zip tie from something else. This must have been zip tied when I got it. Let's go ahead and zip it up. And then they had these like tucked under here like this. It was really kind of crappy because they're like that funny ass angle. So then we got to get that one here, and that plugs into that card there. So we have another Molex over here that runs the hard drive. Okay. And when I opened this thing up, these were like literally almost in the damn thing, in the fan. That's how bad it was. So this company built this thing like this, I guess. It's like, really? So, and they have one fan for this whole freaking thing. Okay? Now, originally the wires were all balled up over here, and that's why they were so close to getting into the CPU fan. So, what I'm going to actually do here, we're not even going to get complicated with this. Just put this over here. I think this is 5 volts, unfortunately. But what we can seriously do is literally go like this. If it'll go. These have been soldered so the ends are tinned. But what I was going to do was just put a Molex connector on it. But I think we can probably tape that up and get away with that. Or we'll do the Molex. But I don't like this thing. It's putting strain on it. So the design of this thing is about as bad as that connection I just made there. You really shouldn't do that. But that's how they were making them, and that's how they were selling them to people that were ordering them. So anyway, I've got a Molex connector, and it's got wires for a fan, so that's actually what we're going to use. Let me grab that really quick. Alright, unfortunately, this thing went to some kind of voltage regulator, but it ain't going to work, so what we're going to do, we got to grab one of these old fans that I just grabbed earlier. These damn things have both connectors on them. I hate to do this. Like, seriously? Okay. So, they didn't label anything either, but if you look at a standard Molex, get in here and look at this one real quick. God, I hate how they wired this thing up. It's like asking to break the connector on this damn thing. Okay, so jeez, these are horrible. All right. Why in the hell? They do not want to plug in. There we go. Okay. So, I guess yellow and black. So the red's a 5 volt, that's right. So, anyway. We don't need that fan. We're not going to use it in anything anytime soon. I got 3 more of them. So, what we need to do now then, separate these. Okay. So it looks like the barely legible striped wire is the negative. And I'm just going to solder these in here and heat shrink them. So we'll get that done here in a second. I need to find my heat shrink. Alright, we're going to let this thing heat up and move it over here. Unplug the card and pull the card out. We got to get another screw fresh off the printer and put it in there. I'm going to take the end, which is a little bit long. Just going to clip it off. And pretty much just screw it in real fast. Okay. Alright, we got that. Now, good to remove this. Okay, let's look at the wires first real quick. We got yellow is completely black. Okay, so I'm going to twist that wire up. Set that thing down over there. Okay. And I've got one little piece of heat shrink left, so I better get this right the first time. Okay. I'm not sure where my solder actually is. Got some flux. We cut this thing right in half. We get our wires threaded. Come on. So when we solder this, I can't freaking see. We're going to have to keep it very small. If we don't, we're going to have a problem. Okay. Let me look at this Molex again. Make sure I'm not making a critical mistake here. So, the outside wire is yellow. One stripes is actually negative. Okay. There should be enough on the end of this thing just to tin this real quick. Okay. Alright. So now I just need this. So basically, can you guys see what I'm doing? Yeah. Alright. Okay, yellow wire is the outside wire. And that's going to go to the red. And I'm going to try and carefully hold this thing here. I'm going to nip off a bunch of that. Come on, dude. Okay. I really need to get that better than that. What I'm going to do is get some pliers, I think. Hold it. That one looks pretty good. that one. I need that little hand thing, you know? I call it the helping hands. Damn. This thing's fighting me. Getting hot. I've burnt my hands many times doing stuff like this. Okay. Just double check. Okay, center inside wire is going to be black. Okay. Now we can go ahead and pull our heat shrink over it as long as it'll fit. You got to be careful right here. It doesn't really want to fit because the insulation got a little boogered. Okay. The other one. Okay. And then I'm just going to take the soldering iron here and heat it up. Okay. We're good to go. That's how I like to do it. Alright. So now, to get a card back in here, let's plug in the port. Oh, this thing's putting pressure on this. Okay. Yep, I probably should have never took anything out of this thing in the first place. I tried to put it in a different case. You guys might have seen some of those videos, but anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and clip this thing. I should like it. I'm gonna let it sit like right here. I don't like how the damn thing is like, it's twisted, so it's constantly putting pressure on that thing. We can just put it right here. What they should have did was they should have used a 90-degree SATA, and I actually might have one. So let's see here. I think I have one. All right, I got a couple. We'll see which one's longer. Look like they're about the same. Oh, they're the wrong direction. I wonder, can the Samsung drive be put in more than one way? Yep, you can't use it. Because it comes up that way. Alright, well, I don't know. I guess we'll have to go with the original plan. So then, let's just like really bend this frickin' thing. Get it like that. Just run it up in there. Good Lord. Okay. Almost. Okay. We got it in there. Alright, so then the next thing we need to do is I'm gonna get Are you freaking kidding me? I soldered this thing and the damn wire broke on the fan. Oh. Good Lord. Seriously. Well, luckily these things pull out pretty damn easy. But I don't even see where it was ever even really crimped in there. Right. So, we're just going to do this on the fly, guys. Let me turn my soldering iron back on. Alright. Alright. So usually what I'll do with these, if this happens, I'll get a little flux on it. You can pretty much pull these pins out. If you've ever worked with these a lot, you know they fall out all the time anyway. So we're pretty much going to carefully squeeze it with the cutters. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to give it a little blip of solder, which means I've got to find my solder wire, my spool, and I've got some big stuff that'll work, but I don't like using it. It's really funny how this stuff just keeps disappearing every time I go to look for it. We'll use some of this. I don't really like doing this over the computer. Doesn't like the solder. Alright, got it. Maybe not. No, that didn't work. Okay. Alright, that'll work. Shouldn't come out. Okay. Now, we get back to that, I guess. I don't really like how this thing is routed. But there's not a lot I can do about it. Actually, we could just take that other one and unplug it over here. Ouch. Damn fucking thing. No, I don't. I hate messy ass computers. This drives me freaking nuts. Like, seriously, this is bullshit. Ends up looking like a bunch of fucking crap. Is this thing running on 5 volts or what? Because I noticed this one's using the red and the black. So the CD drive is running on 5 volts, I guess. God. look at this mess, guys. It's like they could have sprung for a little bit bigger of a fucking case, you know? Alright. So, let's get the rest of our drive secure here. These are supposed to be countersunk screws. That's what's so funny about the people that made this thing. Those are countersunk. They're designed to be countersunk. But they use these flathead screws that rub into the fucking case. Like, how dumb could you be? It's like, wow. And then, luckily on the outside they use the right ones, but I mean, seriously? Okay. Well, this has got to be like an hour-long video. Shit. Alright. I wish I had the right screws for this, but I guess it really doesn't matter. I don't even know if that's the right screw altogether. That's not. That one doesn't go in. I grabbed the wrong one. There's like 3 different sizes of screws throughout this thing. Or that one is stripped. Feels like that one's stripped. I think that one's just stripped. And I was looking at some of these other ones. Like, shit. They look like they should fit. They do. That's wild. But why are these there? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull these, because I think we have other ones that fit from another project. It's really short one. The only problem is these would be a lot better on the outside of the case. Oh no, those aren't the same. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing when they did this, because this is what was on it when I got it. But they shouldn't have used these here, but they did. And then like this one here. See, they just used whatever they had laying around, I feel like. That screw right there, though, I don't know, those screws seem, they didn't come from this thing. I don't know, they came from another computer I took apart. This is a fine screw. I wonder if this one fits. These came out of a server rack. And they all fit, which is nice. But I'm going to need them on the outside. So, these are definitely a coarse thread. And then that one looks like a fine thread. Yeah, these didn't come out of this, so I don't know what it did with the rest of the other ones, but they're the proper ones. This thing takes the stupidest RAM ever, too. 2 gigabytes of PC3 1060. And of course it has to be like special. Okay? So this other one, oh god, I don't even know what this one. The other one's a Samsung one. This one's 2. It's got the same HP mark on it, but it took me a while before I found RAM that would actually work in this thing. A lot of the server RAM that I had would work by itself, but not multiple slots. And then, so we get 2 and 2. I think there's, each one of these is 2. The last one's here. No. 8 gigabyte of Kingston. And let's see. So we get, yeah, these are both 8. I want to say these are in the wrong slots to really work properly. Because the blue ones don't match and the black ones don't match. But then again, maybe we have 10 per channel. Anyway, so we basically got this thing done. We got to find that screw. I found the other one here. I'm not sure if maybe I accidentally took these 2 here because they skimped on screws in this thing everywhere. A lot of times they would do, you know, instead of putting 4, they would put 2. And I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing right now because I don't feel like sitting here all day looking for it. Alright, so we're going to put the lid on it and see how many of these screws fit and don't fit. So it's got 1 here. So we get 2 on the top, 2 on the side, 1 in the back. And they should have did more than that, but they didn't. Lazy ass company, if you ask me. So this doesn't want to sit flush. Sure. We got everything. Everything's good. I don't know why they couldn't have just made it to where, yeah, see, you can feel the bump. And the hard drive bolts, screws, they're completely different. So I can't swap them around anyway. But you can see where everything they had in here made a mark. Let's see. Because there's like absolutely no room in this case for any funny business. So you got those 2 right there. Yeah. Alright. It is what it is. So I'm going to see, because I think these are coarse thread, long ones. They're almost kind of like fan screws. Okay. And then I think on the sides, they used short, really short ones. Because there's a spot here where there's something really close in the way. I think these are the ones I lost because I put them in a tray. I found them over there in my parts tray. And I'm like, well, either these came from this or they came from the server case that I took apart. But it didn't really use anything like this that I remember. But I take apart so much stuff, it just happens all the time. You end up losing stuff. Yeah, that fits perfectly. I'm going to go in here and do that. So, it's restored to all its glory. Like I said, there you can lift up on it like this. Why would they make this like that, guys? You see that? That's nuts. That's how it was made. Then we could rip that thing open. Like, why is there not a screw hole here? It's all rack mount available too, but I mean, like, What the hell were you thinking? You just have like this single thing in the back? Like, seriously? So here it is now. And then this, I don't know if you see this, but it was dented. They had it like bent. I had to like bang it out. So yeah, now we have the drive in here with all 4 screws. We have a little button here to turn it on. We have a SATA. So it's kind of a cool server, you know. Just weird how they see, like, there's a piece here where that goes, but then this one doesn't have that. So they have like a system where they would just bang these things out, you could tell. And you know, not a real good system in my opinion. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and there's no point in me showing you a firing up of a server with a no GUI.